Live. Hello, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We are in operation. We are here. Today is the 26th of April, right? And it's another opportunity to discuss the situation on the ground in Haiti and have a conversation about the economics, conversation about how things are moving and how things could be moving. So as folks come in and bunch up, remember social distancing people. We want to be 6 feet apart as we pile into the live. Right, we are still in the era of COVID. That is totally unavoidable, given what we got going on. But we'll do what we have to do. Right, we have quite a bit of news to go over. Not as much as I would like. Still, the economy of the world, much less Haiti, has really grinded to a pretty big halt. We do have folks and players who are trying to make the best of the situation. We do have folks and players who are doing what they can to bolster the manufacturing capacity for PPE devices, masks, cleaning materials, things of that sort. But the overall activity of the economy has certainly slowed down, and we're gonna certainly be talking about that. Right. As always, this show is here at 11 a.m. on Sundays, and it's a live show. It's a live conversation where I read all comments on air. Right, all comments are read on air, and I do encourage folks to comment, provide your perspective, because the quality of the show only improves with your input. Right, as the past few episodes, we thought I was going to be rather short because the situation is what it has been. The news has really slowed down to anything outside of COVID not really existing. But the quality of the conversations we had so far has pushed records of the show. The show has gone on the longest it has gone on over the past few episodes. So that's really a tip de chapeau to everyone who is participating and watching. So let's keep that trend going. All right. And of course, do share as you come into live, drop a comment and then share it. That's the ritual. Drop a comment, say what's up, and then immediately hit that share button. Get on your feed, get on your Facebook, get it on your IG, get on your WhatsApp. Let's get some more folks in here, because again, the quality of the conversation only improves the more people who come in. Right. So let's make sure we do that. Of course, some top of the story points I always have to get into. Of course, YouTube Seejeanty. Now, the YouTube channel has been obviously slowed. We have not been able to go and shoot on locations because COVID, but nonetheless, we still have an archive of just incredible content, different playlists, sights and sounds playlist, the Haiti Biz spotlights that have had incredible businesses on the channel, in addition to some unboxing and a bunch of different stuff. So again, if you have not had the chance to view these videos, take this opportunity to sort of Netflix the channel, binge the channel. There's so much content that my team and I have worked so hard to produce, and it's really an opportunity to have you guys who are potentially new to the channel engage and check out. So do make sure to definitely do that. Right, we've had, while I still want to produce content, still want to have an engaging presentation of what Haiti has to offer and what people on the ground are still doing right now. And I'm not going to let COVID slow me down. So that's why the podcast was launched. A lot of folks were asking for such a long time, Chris, you got to get in the podcast space. You got to, bring these conversations that you're having on Seejeanty to my Apple podcast, to my Spotify. As a man of the people, you speak, I listen. And we got the podcast, my Pimpo IT, with my fantastic co-host, Marc-Antoine, an incredible Haitian American who's returned and is impacting through an NGO that he runs, Tier Fund, that's doing things the right way. They understand that they have to work with players on the ground. It's not about bringing stuff in. It's not about importing ideology. It's about finding what's already innate in our people, in addition to our products, and investing in it and growing it. Right. So Mark's an incredible co-host, and we've been interviewing some incredible people on the podcast. So if you have not seen it yet, Ma Pimpo Haiti, the interview, the link is below in the description. Even right now, you guys can find it. But I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat right now. If you have not had a chance to subscribe to the podcast, to do so. I mean, we have a pretty aggressive episode schedule coming in front of us here. We have we're going to be dropping 2 episodes this week. Actually, we've been dropping 1, but we're going to be dropping 2. And these guests, you don't want to miss these guests. These guests are, each one provides a unique perspective of the elephant that is Haiti, and how they're going about tackling and improving the country. Everyone else can sit and bemoan Haiti's too difficult to work in, bemoan the government, bemoan, making excuses for Haiti's condition, when the actuality is, in every country that's ever developed, it's people, regular people, who decided enough is enough and decided to act. Not sit behind screens, not pan away at keyboards, but actually physically engage with the problem at hand, right? So My Pimpo Haiti is really about giving those folks that platform and sharing that experience. So again, if you haven't subscribed yet, however you want to consume it, it's available. And also it's on my channel. It's on Seejeanty. It's on Facebook. So if you haven't subscribed there, and you can catch it through the usual ways, usually to catch the Seejeanty content. As always, we have everything we're going to be talking about today. Everything we're going to be talking about today, let me go and drop the banner, is going to be on HaitiBizNews.com. Right below, you see it there, HaitiBizNews.com. Just go scroll going across, you see it. So make sure, if you have that part of your routine as well in the mornings, do check out HaitiBizNews.com. It's a site that we went ahead, all the information that exists on the internet related to the business environment in Haiti, we pull it to one site. I always advise folks to grab the Chrome browser, because you can install the translation plugin on the Chrome browser, right? And it'll automatically translate, because all of this is in French. It will translate French into your language, because we do have Spanish speakers who watch the content. So you can translate it to Spanish, you can translate it to English, obviously, right? If you're a French speaker, great. You just, lis la français, right? So do make sure to do that. Let me take a quick pause. Let me say good morning. I see a lot of folks coming in, right? A lot of folks coming in. Let me just say what's up to them. We got Neg Maon, bonjour, ça va mon frère? Tamara Jimenez, hello. We got Liz Z, what is up? Hope you're well, Liz. Jude, good to see you. Damani Samba, as always, my Congo twin, doing great things in promoting and discussing and showing the issues and the positive movement happening in Congo right now. As always, Damani, I always encourage you to drop your channel, your page, so folks can learn about the shared movement happening, not just in Haiti, but across the globe, right? Give me 1 second. Seems like my mouse died. We'll choose right now to do so. Okay, there we go. All right, mouse is back online, right? And then who else? Oh, Johnny. We got Johnny Celestin in the channel. What is up, Johnny? Good to see you. Happy to have you in here. Johnny Celestin is someone else who's been doing some incredible work. By the way, I do have an interview with Johnny on the channel on Nous Parler. So if you haven't seen that yet, I think Johnny holds the record of probably having my longest Nous Parler. What Johnny was saying was so impactful. I couldn't cut anything. I didn't want to cut anything. I had to keep it all in there, right? So, if you guys want a conversation of substance, Johnny is someone who's worked directly with a prior administration of the Haitian government. So he has a perspective of the government that a lot of us only see from the outside. And I can tell you his assessment's very honest. Spoiler alert, he's not a fan. But I'll let you go ahead and check out that conversation. But the conversation really is focused on substance. So do make sure to check it out. And Johnny's current project, he has something called the Le Mojo Show. The Le Mojo Show. He's co-hosting with Miss. Oh my goodness, I'm blacking out her name. Please, Johnny, drop her name for me. But she's co-hosting it with a phenomenal woman up in New York, doing some great work as well. And it's a great show. It's a very value-added show. And so if you guys have not checked that out, Johnny, do us a favor and drop the channel link, or however you want folks to engage with it, right? It will certainly be appreciated, right? And of course, my mouse is not functioning. I'm gonna have to switch to my secondary mouse. Y'all bear with me. The mouse will choose right now to start acting up. Bear with me, guys. Let's see. That's why you gotta have a secondary mouse, because technology will screw up at the time when you least want it to. Come on now, come on. There we go. There we go. Turn that on. What's going on? Let's see something. Neither mouse is working. All right, so I guess we're gonna do this old school with the actual laptop mouse pad. We'll make it do what it do. All right, let's keep it going. All right, and let's see who else do we have here in the chat. We have Adele Alfred. What's up? Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Lawrence Gonzalez. What is up? As always, we know where Lawrence is in. I got to give Lawrence a shout out. The work he's working on. IG, hit up GQ Accountant, doing some incredible personal finance work. I learned a lot, and I consider myself a personal finance geek. I always have the opportunity to learn something. So, Lawrence, happy to have you here today. We have Vladimir Pierre. What's up? What's up? Ronald Etienne. How you doing? How you doing? And then, of course, IG is loading up here. We got a lot of folks in here. Haiti Connect, what is up? Madame Jancy, comment ça va, chérie? Right? Who else do we have in here? We have Tiffy Caribe coming in. We have a lot of folks. Love Elnard, what is up? We got Oxnell Tours. How you doing, man? Happy to see you. We got Bamu72. Good to have you all in here in the chat today, right? Just want to quickly do a quick shout out. I saw a lot of folks were commenting. I don't want to spend too much time and not shout you guys out, right? So, of course, everyone, I just shouted out. I'm going to hold the feet to the fire. Share it. Hit that share button, right? However you're consuming, share it. The more folks we're going to have in here, the better quality conversation we are going to have, right? And so let's hop into the headlines. What are we going to be talking about today, right? That's ultimately what you guys came in here for. So let's do that. Let's talk about, let us go over some of the headlines that are going to be talked. So COVID, the show, 90% of it is going to be COVID related, totally unavoidable, right? We're going to talk about, the counts. Where are we in that, right? How do we compare, right? There's been recent protests in the Petionville area and across the country. We're going to talk about what are the causes, what's pushing, what's driving that. We've had a string of international support, USAID, most recently, EU's talking about some stuff. We'll be talking about that. The Haitian Pharmacist Board and a lot of private sector players also have added to their contribution to Haiti's response. We're going to be talking about that, right? Deportations, those have continued. We talked about it last episode or the episode before. There's been some updates. We're going to talk about some of the deportations that's been happening, right? Remittances, things are looking good. Things are looking good for obvious reasons, which we're going to talk about. And in education, there's been some updates, some things that the Ministry of Education has unloaded out to the public. And we're going to have to talk about that and really to see ultimately how effective that is, right? And of course, those who want to kind of lead the edge in terms of what we're going to be talking about, make sure to follow me on Twitter. A lot of these topics, as I'm doing my research and preparing for the show, I make it a point to ask questions, get a little survey from the people who might be actually getting affected. from these stories. So if you follow me on Twitter, or at least follow me on my Facebook page, you can engage in that sort of pre-work, pre-research conversation, and help me put together a much more quality presentation of the news, right? So make sure you do that. If you haven't done that yet, follow me across all my platforms. I post a little something different on everything, IG, and everything's Seejeanty, everything's Seejeanty, right? One word. So follow me on different platforms. On my different platforms, I do something different. Heck, I'm even on TikTok. I post different things on TikTok from time to time, depending on how bored I am, right? So follow me, look for me on all the platforms. The only thing I'm not on is actually Snapchat. Snapchat's the only thing I'm not on. I feel like I'm a little too old for Snapchat. It's a little too high school for me, unfortunately. So that's the only one I'm not on, right? So that's the news, and we're going to be talking about it to a lot of these things today. Before I get started, let's take a quick glance at what folks are saying. We got Wilner Calixte. Excusez-moi. He says, "What's your IG?" I just shared it. Seejeanty, SE. Everything is Seejeanty on every platform, so it's the same. Keep it real consistent. Even though I do a lot of content on top of that, a lot of folks like to do that. They'll create something and then they'll create a brand new page and a brand new YouTube for it, which I get why you want to keep some separation, especially if your content is very, very different. But since my content is all under that umbrella of of Haiti, and the conversation of progressing the consciousness and state of things, it's not necessary for me to create a brand new channel for everything. That's why everything, I just create different playlists, in fact, right? That's why I have the Sights and Sounds, Un Nous Parler, even the podcasts all under the Seejeanty channel, because it's really, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, not dilute the audience, because at the end of the day, it's the same audience I'm creating it for. Folks who, have understanding that, again, we control the future of Haiti, right? And so the more we can engage and inform ourselves and be able then to act in the best possible way, Haiti will change, right? Cool. So we have Bounce Boogie. What's up, man? Good to see you. What's up? We got Eric Mousseau saying good morning. Houston, Texas in the house. I think first Houston, Texan, I think. What is up? I think there's a lot of Haitians out in Houston. You have to tell me, Eric. There's a lot of Haitians out there, right? But certainly good to see you. Happy to have you. Hope to see you again. We're here every Sunday, 11 a.m. All right. What's up, IG? All right. So let's get into the news today. So COVID. Haiti has 72 confirmed cases as of yesterday. 72 confirmed cases, 6 deaths, 6 deaths. And so far, we've actually had our first round of official recovery numbers, and we have 4 recovered. Now, there's a reason why there's a bit of delay in terms of the recovery count, because a recovery count requires a certain amount of time to pass. I believe it's about 18 weeks. And then on top of that, it requires another test, right? You have to be tested again for COVID, right? And as we know, tests are very hard to come by just about anywhere. I mean, even in America, you're having folks who have not yet been tested until it's very dire and very grave, right? So same thing, Haiti has only so many tests available, and so it's pretty difficult to get retested. But so far, the MSPP the Minister of Public Protection and Health has been making efforts to try to retest and actually get some of these folks officially off the quarantine watch list. Because even after you get hospitalized, you are then asked to quarantine and be isolated for another additional certain amount of weeks to ensure you're not affecting anyone while you might be asymptomatic, right? You have 4 recoveries. In Dominican Republic, got to talk about DR there. We share a border. We have 4,719 cases, positive cases of COVID, and 267 deaths. I'm going to say it again, 267 deaths. And so far, we're at about 89 recovered altogether, right? So the situation is very dire in DR. Some of the more extreme measures I was expecting them to take, they did not take. Which, there was about a week or 2 weeks ago, they were looking to do a very hard quarantine, a quarantine that was going to be literally no movement. Everyone was supposed to stay in their house for a week. I didn't hear about that happening in the country as a whole. There are a community or two that some of the local administrators did take a very much more aggressive take. When you're looking at the overall arch of DR, we kind of are seeing a return. The curve that everyone was talking about, right? We're trying, the whole point of this exercise of staying away, social distancing, is to get that curve to, folks are still going to get affected, but the idea is that you're going to get affected slower so that the medical capacity of your country can help you, right? If everyone were going to get sick at the same time, if we didn't do social distancing, staying home, staying away, it would overconsume what any country's hospital capacity is, and we'd get exponentially more deaths, right? That's the whole idea behind it, right? Because we know COVID isn't a curable thing at the moment, right? And so that's the whole idea, right? And so now we're starting to see, especially in DR, that the amount of positive cases and even the amount of deaths per day are starting to start seeing a slow downtick, which is what we want to see, right? And especially what that means as well, a lot more folks in the population are starting to get immunity. We would see overall a slower spread. That's all part of this tactic of ours. And hopefully, again, there might be another flare-up, actually. We're not saying that wouldn't happen, but we certainly hope it wouldn't be as aggressive. I do, even in America, we're seeing a lot of things where, states are reopening up, but if I were you, Fuepam, Sepam, Service, be careful, right? If I were you guys, I'd still follow these guidelines for a long time, for a few more months. Even if as you go around, be that crazy person with your mask on, months from now, right? I mean, I was a crazy person with my mask on at least a full month before it was cool, right? I went to my local clinic. I'm not gonna talk bad about my doctor. I went to my usual doctor's office, and the nurse was asking me, "Hey, why are you wearing that?" I'm wearing that because there's COVID, and I'm in a hospital. I'm in a clinic where the air is nothing but COVID people potentially, right? Sick people and one of them may have had COVID, right? And none of the nurses were wearing it. And I certainly hope, I haven't been back to my office, I certainly hope none of them have gotten it, or at least they've changed their behavior. But again, I was doing that when it was not even cool by some medical professionals. And so I'd exactly to keep at it as long as you can, and console your parents, console your friends to keep at it, right? Because again, at the end of the day, this thing doesn't have a cure, has a very high kill rate, right? So if you get it, you may die, and if you get it, you may kill a family member who is older, who has a compromised immune system. So again, to me, my behavior is going to be a certain way and ticker off until there's a vaccine. Until I know there's a vaccine and folks can start getting some immunity, right? And by the way, no anti-vaxxer stuff here, by the way. Y'all keep that 5G. Y'all keep that 5G stuff off the channel. I don't ban people, but I may consider it if I see any anti-vaxxer 5G people in there. We don't do that. That's for over there. We don't do that here, right? I joke, but I'm not joking. Keep that crap out. Okay, from here, understand me? Right? So that's COVID. That's where we're at. That's the counts. Protests. Let's talk about the protests happening in across the country. Major protests all across PV. In particular, that's what, if you folks who are connected with Haitian social media, you've seen we've seen a lot of people in the thousands bunching together, very unsocial distancing, protesting their frustrations. A lot of these are led by the merchants, the mamasegas, the street merchants of the city, that have had very aggressive clampdowns by the municipal leaders in the Petionville area in particular. That's again the most attention. It's common sense in the sense of why they're clamping down. These, if you've ever been to Haiti, or ever seen any image of Haiti, particularly as folks, the way folks shop, you see these mamaseyas, these street merchants on the side of the street with all the different things they're selling, banan, rice, beans, you name it, they're selling it. Very bunched together, very close. And it is a lot of the reasons why folks had a level of dread for what could happen to Haiti is because the reality of how Haiti interacts, right? And how it's something that's so necessary. Because if COVID doesn't kill you, the hunger will. As someone who's on the street, if you don't sell, you don't make money. There is no social protection net. There is no unemployment insurance, right? There isn't a check from the DGE that's coming to the people to reimburse them for time spent having the social distance. If you don't sell, you don't eat, right? And so the restrictions in place put in by the municipal Petionville leadership has included has included 3 days, 3 days a week only, right? 3 days a week only, and for limited hours. We're talking by around noon to 2 p.m. These street merchants, these centers, usually, there's two types of street merchants, to be clear. There's street merchants who actually sell in designated areas, for outdoor markets, right? And as you drive around Port-au-Prince and Petionville, you'll see them. They're very clearly are what they are. And there's a second type, which is, and this has always been contentious, street merchants who just pick a side of the street and they start selling, right? There's anywhere there's a decent sidewalk, decent foot traffic, you'll see street merchants who set up shop and are selling, everything imaginable to get some money, right? Now, they've restricted those activities of the specific designated areas and effectively banned the street merchants, right? So there's been I want to say extreme crackdown, but a very strategic crackdown to lessen the exposure of the population, right? And some communes have gone even further, like the commune of Saint Roch, have said that not only are they shutting that down, anyone who's found not social distancing will receive a fine of 10,000 gourd, right, and up to 5 to 15 days in jail, right? That's some communes. Some communes have gone that far to try to enforce and express and get folks to understand you have to not put the general health of folks in danger. Now, the most recent protests in Petionville riled up specifically because on one of the days that it was understood that they were going to be able to sell, what I'm hearing is that the person was supposed to come and unlock, because a lot of these places they've closed them up. They've literally put makeshift doors, very makeshift, this little tin doors to restrict people from coming into the designated areas. And those doors weren't open, right? Some folks, the guy who's supposed to do it, I'm not saying, if Haiti, I wouldn't be surprised if the guys running late or fell behind or hell, even forgot. But for whatever reason, that door wasn't closed and it wasn't open, and it wasn't open across the entire city, right? Merchants came to try to sell their wares on the day that was designated. It was closed. And as you saw what happened. You saw citywide protests across the city with folks expressing their frustrations that they're trying to follow the law. These folks are very clear. They're saying they're not saying COVID isn't a problem. They're saying that they're trying to make a living, right? And they're trying to follow the guidelines. A lot of them said they have their masks. They are placing themselves in a much further distance to the next vendor, right? They're trying to stay further away from their people who are buying from them. They're trying to wear, those who can have gloves, but a lot of them are saying they don't know where to get a mask, right? There's a lot of them are saying it's the Haitian government's responsibility to give us masks, right? You know, to at least at the very least, they should be able to do that, right? They can't give us unemployment. They can't give us hospitals. They can't give us free treatment if we get sick. But at the very least, they could give us masks, right? And a lot of them are saying open on the days you said you're going to open and help facilitate our protection, right? I don't think that's unreasonable, right? A lot of people will like to watch these very poor Haitians protest, and they'll say, you know, and think most negatively. But listen to what they're saying. A lot of me, you don't know Creole. I can get why you may be missing what's being said, but listen to what they're saying. And they're speaking sense, right? They're saying we're not against Corona. We know Corona is serious. They have access to the news. They have access to WhatsApp. They have access to Facebook. They're seeing how COVID is affecting the entire world. So they're not saying they don't want to follow the principles, but they have to sell to live, right? And so the response of the mayor of Petionville has been one of somewhat defiance. He says that these crackdowns are going to continue because they have to, but certainly they will work harder to try to honor the hours that they've agreed upon to provide for the street merchants to sell and the population as a whole to be able to get their food and their wares, right? And so certainly we hope that does slow down, fester down, because protests as they're doing it, it's bad, right? But at the same time too, I think the reason why folks are on the street is not too dissimilar to the protests we're seeing across the world. We're seeing protesters in France protesting the inability for them to work and the economic impact that the social distancing and quarantines have done. In America, we're seeing countless states, folks picking up guns and literally parading around different capitals and bunching up, and also protesting and expressing their frustration that they cannot work, they cannot open their businesses, right? So what's going on in Haiti, viewed at the lens of what's going on in the world, right? I'm certainly hoping that folks can understand the frustration and the difficulty, right? And leave it at that, right? So that's that news story. Let's take a look and see what folks are saying. Right, we got Eric saying not enough Haitians in Texas. Right. I'm not surprised about that. Right, we got Samuel Toussaint Zoom Church. Right, in fact, I was watching. What's the largest church? One of the largest churches in Haiti. Oh man, Magadinono, Beth Salde, Beth Bethsada. Right, I can't quite say it, but I'm sure folks who know. And they've changed how they've done their program, and totally live, very quality Facebook live stream. And that gives me hope, right? Because when you have these sort of Haitians who at the very onset, there was a fight between a lot of church going Haitians and the government. A lot of them were still not adhering to the quarantine and social distancing. But we're now seeing a lot of the bigger churches taking the lead. I can't speak with the smaller churches, even right now. But a lot of the bigger churches have taken the lead in shifting how they do service to Facebook Live and integrating it, and it looks really good, really professional. So hats off to a lot of the churches that have taken it serious and kept their obligation to not only service the Lord but also keep their congregation safe. So hats off to them and the folks who have been following them in that direction. We got Edwin William. What's up, man? Good morning. Good to see you. Jean-Claude Jancy. Appreciate you. Bien qu'on Noel, Pop. Ibazil Food Center. What is going on? Watching from Boston. Good to have you. First time I'm seeing Ibiza Food Center. Very happy to have you in the chat. Hope to see you again. Certainly. Says, I'd like you to join Moravin John Colomb to fight against corruption in Haiti. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that is. If that's a person, if that's a what is that, a political thing? I'm not too sure what that is. But I can tell you though, from this show is, as much as we can avoid politics, we avoid, obviously, it's some discussion of what's going on from a political standpoint. It has to be discussed because of how it affects the entire apparatus of people's lives, right? And how it affects the economy. So we can't not talk what is going on politically, but we aren't a politics show. In fact, as little time as I can spend on politics, I pride myself on that, because as we know, the Haitian government is one of the root causes of so many of the ills of the country, but yet so much other folks focus on that and that alone, when we know that one of the biggest counters to a very poorly politically managed institution like Haiti's very bad government is folks acting economically, right? Focused on, despite the obstacles of the government, working on improving each other's chances of being successful economically, improve jobs, right? Provide income to people so they're not thinking with their hungry stomachs, but are able to think much more tactically because they have money in their hand and they can actually think about, okay, what's best for not just me today, but what's best for the country tomorrow, right? And so that's how we move, and that's what we talk about here on the channel. What we talk about here at Haiti Biz News, what folks are doing to impact from that perspective, and we stay away, because everywhere else, politics everywhere else, right? But here we just keep it, what's going on specifically from a business perspective, and we keep it moving, right? I'm not gonna spend my energy really engaging on the political end, though I do not hide the reality that all roads lead to the politics, and at some point it needs to be engaged, but it needs to be engaged the right way, right? It's not going to be engaged from you as an outsider, typing on a keyboard. It's not going to be you engaged as an outsider just flying in and picking a pickup sign. It's only engaged, and can only be engaged properly when you have integrated yourself in that system, but not be corrupted by it. Integrate yourself in that system to the point where that system has to respect you and cannot ignore your influences to improve it, right? Because as it stands right now, the Haitian diaspora from the outside yelling and just saying, Haiti's corrupt, you're not going to change a damn thing. But if you can get on the inside, right, and you're providing jobs, you're providing opportunities, you figured out a way to where the corrupt system cannot affect you and affect your capacity to move, it's only at that point you can actually say, okay, now let's talk politics. Now let's talk. And now it's not even talking politics. That's the beauty of it, right? Because you have the influence to change it, right? It's not about talking anymore. It's literally about picking up a phone call and saying, hey, listen, buddy, if you don't do something to crack down on some of these corrupt actors, these 100,000 jobs I have in your commune, I'm going to take it to the other commune, right? These 100,000 jobs that we're producing, these 100,000 agricultural, tax dollars that's being produced in your commune, we're going to take it to the next commune, right? And that's when you're going to start seeing, oh, whoa, I got Thailand, wait a minute, let's go and arrest these guys. That's when you start seeing change. You won't see it from the outside talking it, right? So thanks for that, Ibiza. I don't disagree with you, but the strategy and the way we go about it needs to be a little different, right? So thanks for that. So let's keep it moving. We have the next news story has to do with some of the contributions of the international community, right? So the USAID has signed a $75.5 million US, as comme you dit, 75.5 million US grant to the Haitian government. It's specifically called the Haitian Reconstruction Grant Agreement, right? And the idea and the goal behind that is to help with a lot of the efforts, particularly from planning. And the minister that's going to take control of these funds will be the Minister of Planning and External Cooperation. And a lot of the goal here is to help with the infrastructure, a lot of the infrastructure that's lacking right now, that this response is showing, not only in medical hospital support, but just a lot of the basic things that have been neglected, obviously. Roads, support, helping with police funding. Once this fund was announced, the very next day, the Prime Minister's youth announced that a lot of the police officers, who, by the way, had a lot of them had over 10 months and 6 months respectively, that they weren't paid, right? They announced after this grant was announced that they're going to be able to pay a lot of these police officers, hundreds of police officers who have been paid in months, are going to be able to get their salaries in full, right? So a lot of these very important infrastructural things that the government has been able to do is going to do. Now, that of course brings to you a problem, right? When you have a dependency, your government dependency on a foreign entity and not being able to capture that revenue to run your country internally, right? That puts in some pervasive incentives for a government. But you know what? That pushes a little too close to politics. We're not gonna go there, right? But I just want to drop that as something I hope you folks who are watching can sort of start putting two and two together, right? How can a government ever really be responsive to its people when money talks? Money is the only thing that talks and matters anywhere and everywhere. Always understand that, right? And when the money's not coming from the people you're supposed to be protecting, serving, building for, working for, right? Beholden to, when it's not coming from them, but it's coming from someone outside, are you ever going to have a politics that works for the people? Think about that. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna move on. Okay. The next news story relating to the international community, it relates to the EU. EU and the Haitian government have been in talks this week concerning a 160 million euro grant that's supposed to be coming in the coming weeks. This money is supposed to help with Haitian water, sanitation, hygiene efforts, right, related to the COVID response. So nothing's been formalized just yet, but when we're talking about 160 million euros, right, certainly that's something we don't want to preface right away as soon as that news comes in. And certainly if it gets finalized, we don't know how much it ultimately will be. It might be less. We're not too sure right now, but that is certainly a lot of money. Certainly is a lot of, in fact, I want to say it's because the IMF had around $400 million. I have to take a look at my notes to substantiate that 100%, but just top of my head, just my recollection, about $400 million that they were holding, they were not releasing to the Haitian government because we don't have a government, right? We don't have we don't have 11 congressmen, we don't have any deputies, right? And because we don't have a government to be able to ratify any laws, right, the IMF was holding off on giving any money to the Haitian government, and the Haitian government was in really effectively a free fall. This COVID has been certainly there's no other way to say it, a blessing for the Haitian government, because we already talked about every week. I've talked about lots of money that's come in through the international community. Right. Let me go back through some of these dollars. Right. Probably next week we can go a little more deep in depth about all that's been coming through. Just last week we had IMF gave $116 million to Haiti. USAID. This is not the new amount that I've said, but USAID gave 13.2 million. The CDC has given 2.9 million to the Haitian government, right? And that's last week. Let me go back the week before. Let me go take a look at my notes. I'll tell you the week before how much money came through. Oh, by the way, also last week it was announced the World Bank would delay, in addition to IMF, would delay the debt repayment of the Haitian government up until later this year. So that's months of money that would have to go out, wouldn't be going out, right? Let's see where the money's at. Let's see, where was I? The week before, it doesn't seem I reported on money the week before. I don't see anything on the week before, but I'm pretty sure week 3, I'm only going to go back one more week. Right? I want to get back on the news at hand today. See the week of 4-5. Let's see what I reported on. The week of 4-5. Let's see what I reported on. There it is. Right. The World Bank had gave 20 million to Haiti, and the Global Partnership for Education gave 10 million. So already we're at what? 10, 20, 116. That's what, 150, about 150, right? 2.2, 160. That's so already at 160 million just from the past 3 weeks, right? Just from the past 3 weeks, we are at 116. Hello. Hello. Somebody talk to me out there. $116 million in the past 3 weeks have been given to the Haitian government. The Haitian government, the Petionville government, right? And where's the money? Government, right? Where the Haitian earthquake government, right? That's who has received 160 million. And that was just the past week, not even including this week, where I just announced that, take a look at my notes here. I just announced that USAID is going to disperse another 75 million, right? And I just told you 160 million is coming in the pipeline from the European Union. So that puts us where at, let's see, 210, and carry the zero. We're looking at somewhere around 300 and just north of $300 million. I don't see nobody talking to me. I'm gonna leave it right there, though. This show is not politics, but again, it's just hard to navigate the world of economics in Haiti without mentioning it. And I don't go any deeper than that, other than presenting the facts. And then you guys are smart enough to put A and B and C together and form a word, right? Okay. So before I move on, let me see what some folks are saying. Let me see what folks are saying, right? We got Richard S. telling me, I'm saying some important points. Thank you, brother. And good to see you. Adele Alfred, yep, that is true. Saying, yeah, well said. Wilner saying truth. Daniel Dorard is saying, now we have to monitor what politicians steal this money, or steal. I guess he's saying, will politicians steal the money? Do roosters crow? Do dogs bark? Do cats meow? Do cows moo? Is the sun yellow? Is water wet? We'll leave it alone. Adele follows up, says, even though it's been terrible with COVID, but it's kind of a blessing, just praying they will really be smart with the money and about the moves that restart the country. I love the optimism, Adele. We certainly hope that as well. James Lubin says, how's it going, everyone? Has the government released detailed budgets about what they're going to do and use this money? So when this money is released, it's earmarked for specific activities, right? That has to be clear. The U.S. government doesn't release it and say, here's a check and go on and do your stuff. The U.S. government does say, no, this is where it should go. As much as possible, the U.S. government does try to themselves spend the money, right? They don't release it necessarily to the Haitian government, but they release it to specific bureaus. And a lot of times they release it to specific consultants that are American or representative of the country itself. So in a way, a lot of this money comes back to the government that's giving it, right? It goes back to the people of that country, right? So, and this is just common sense, because everyone knows that the Haitian government is corrupt to its roots. So, though I give a lot of these monetary amounts and very cynically, I do want to make sure that a lot of the folks involved in this aid are themselves very intelligent, smart folks who aren't just giving carte blanche. So I want to be very clear with that, right? Because we're fair and balanced here. We're not we're not Fox News. We're fair and balanced. But nonetheless, there's still a lot of pork, a lot of quid for quo that happens behind the scenes, partnerships. A lot of these relationships, they usually have a Haitian partner on the ground, right? A firm, a Haitian firm that partners up with the country representative, right? That means that usually another company that's helping with whatever it is that is being done, right? Maybe it be sanitation, maybe it be whatever it is. But that's usually to the discretion of the government, right, or the government representative, right? And so that is where, and this happens everywhere, right? For friends of a president, or friends of an administration gets the contract, right? And then when they get the contract, appreciation tip is usually provided, right, behind the scenes, under the table. So that's how the mechanism of corruption works in Haiti, right? Given the way things are structured. So I just want to be clear. It's not just a total, here's a check. It's a lot more nuanced to that. And there's still the opportunities for corruption is still very high. So I wanted folks to really understand the mechanism here of how that works, right? So, but to answer your question, James, no, that's the short of it. No, right? It's how things are ultimately really spent. If the closest place you're going to find an answer to that is the government or the institution that's given the money, right? The institution giving the money, they have to be as transparent as possible. And so you're going to find in their budget, in their paperwork, as close as possible on their side where the money has gone, right? But from the Haitian government, good luck, good luck, right? And even after you get something from them, it's difficult to trust, even if we say it's not a lie, right? Even if we say, hey, what they're saying, reporting is true, the accounting systems of the government is so bad, right, that even themselves, when they're trying to be transparent, can't be transparent because there's no QuickBooks in the Haitian government. It's a bunch of paperwork that gets passed up and forth. And if anyone has ever had the misfortune of directly interacting with the Direction Générale des Impôts, which is the IRS of the government, of the Haitian government, if you ever had the misfortune of spending a minute interacting with the DGE, you'll quickly understand my point when I say that you at best, you don't know what's coming out and what's being reported, even when they're trying, how accurate it is. Okay. And DG is really something you really have to interact yourself at some point. I always consult people to use a lawyer and do things very, very professionally to protect you and your exposure. But it's important to try to interact with the DGE by yourself for something very small that shouldn't be a problem. And just kind of see for yourself the level of why Haiti is where it's at, right? And we'll leave it there. We got Daniel Jean-Louis. Daniel Jean-Louis, what is up? Good to see you, man. Happy to have you here in the chat. Daniel Jean-Louis is someone I respect tremendously. He's someone who's doing incredible work in Haiti, owns several businesses, owns an investment firm. Actually, that's providing direct capital to medium-sized enterprises in the country, working with partners and bridging investors from America, across the world, really, Europe to Haiti, right? And also he has a book, an incredibly important book, well, two books actually, from Aid to Trade, right? And then From Trade to Sustainability. I've talked about both books on my channel, and Both books have been incredible for me to be able to very academically articulate a lot of these ideas and opinions I've had for a long time. And someone who's already done. I mean, he wrote the book I would have wrote if I had the time to write it, right? And I pushed that book. Anyone who's reached out to me looking to find out more information or comes at me with a very poor perception of what needs to be done in Haiti, I give them that book. I give them that book for them to reference. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that book yet, it's on Amazon right now. Let me type it in for these guys. Trade from Aid to Trade, from Aid to Trade by Daniel Jean-Louis. Pick up any one of those books, but I'd start with the first one first and then jump into the second one. So Daniel, thanks for coming in today. Hope to see you again in the live. We got Jean Rodell, Michael Rosenberg. Yeah, that's a lot of money. We hate to question it. Jean says we have to question it. I mean, okay, we have to question it. So I agree, right? Adele follows up. Yep, that is a lot of money. We got Nate. Nate, what is up? Nate, Hooked on Haiti is with us today. What's up, man? Good to see you here. Nate is someone who is also someone who's doing some incredible, cool stuff in Haiti. If you haven't checked out his channel, Nate, please drop that channel, Hooked on Haiti. Follow him. He's doing some really cool stuff. In fact, Nate was someone who, as a firefighter, was just so happened to be in Haiti during the earthquake and helped really lead the response as a Haitian professional in a place that didn't have that level of professionalism, and also actually helped really push a much more reformed professional firefighting corps in Haiti. In fact, Quadra-Bouquet's firefighting group, in fact, the second only firefighting station in the country. I don't know if there's been a new one yet, but for a long time, the second only other firefighter station in the entire country, Nate is directly responsible for that. So Nate, very happy to have you here, man. Nate says, hey, Chris, always a pleasure to tune in. Success is made during times of crisis, but it starts with improving and preparing ourselves to do better after the cloud is over. Looking forward to being in Haiti soon. Absolutely, man. That's what it's all about, right? How do we react during times of crisis? And I think, I'm reacting because I can't be in the country doing my usual highlights, but so we created a podcast to be able to conversate with folks who are still engaging, who have engaged, right? To keep that conversation going, right? Because it's not, I don't, when we make excuses for progress, that's when progress doesn't happen, right? So thanks for that, Nate. Certainly appreciate it. Adele follows up. Let's see. U.S. government always releases to USAID. All right. And then Nate follows up, says, always a pleasure to tune in. Changing the game. I'm changing the game by bringing different insight on Haiti and attracting a total audience. Thank you, man. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you. Very humbled. I will take those words to heart. Thank you, brother. Let's follow up. We have a lot more philanthropy happening. We have the Haitian Pharmacists Association. And by the way, those who are watching IG, just know that pretty soon here, I'm going to have to reboot the IG because IG only allows a 1 hour limit, apparently. So we're coming up, we're approaching that time frame. So again, if you get kicked out, just understand that we'll be right back. Just, refresh on your IG and just come right back in. All right. Thanks, guys. So a lot of philanthropy still happening. We have the Haitian Pharmacists Association. They handed 5,700 gallons of sanitation gel to the Haitian government, and the government is supposed to distribute it across the country, right? That's supposed to happen, right? To help with sanitation efforts. That's fantastic. And again, this is a grassroots organization. This is an actual Haitian organization providing aid to this cause in the Haitian government. So always happy to see that, right? To see Haitian philanthropists doing their part, right? And the private sector has stepped up as well. The Banque Union de Haiti has donated 20,000 USD to the Haitian Foundation of Economic Diseases. It's a Haitian. It's basically a association, right? And a lab as well. They also have a lab that help with the analysis and the processing of different things. In particular, they've been helping with the processing of tests recently. So they're certainly doing their part. And even on the worst of times or non-bad times, they're very much engaged in providing professional world level support for the Haitian medical system and the citizens who may be affected by disease. So they've donated 20,000 USD to them. And the Cannes Group, if anyone knows, Valo Cannes, for example, is the largest store they have. They have a bunch of other stores as well, but Valo Cannes is one of the largest retail companies in Haiti. They've provided 60,000 USD to about 4 different medical institutions in the country. One being Bernard Mev Hospital, the other being St. Luke Hospital, the third being Hospital de Canapé, and then finally the Haitian Foundation of Economic Diseases as well. They all will get portions of the $60,000 from the Cannes Group, right? So I'm always happy to see that donation. I certainly wish we would see more of that, because again, donations coming from the people themselves, I feel will always lead to better results than coming from foreign governments and abroad, right? That's just the incentives of how economics work, and historically where we've seen a disconnect between governments and how they work is when there isn't a close relationship between that. That's a very important part, right? So very happy to see that. We hope to certainly see more of that, and as they happen, we certainly will report that. And it's very happy to see that a lot of these companies, native Haitian companies, have stepped up to the plate. Despite that, a lot of them have had to slow down and put restrictions on their business, and unfortunately let some folks go. But of course, that's understood given the economic slowdown. Look, America, we're at what, 29 million people unemployed right now, right? So it's something that's certainly unavoidable given what's going on. But we're happy to see that folks, despite their situations, companies in their situations, they're unloading their savings and providing funds to help with the situation overall, right? So that's very good to see. Very good to see, right? No problem, Nate. Typos are excused, man. Don't worry about it. Right? And so next up, deportations. We got to talk about it. Got to talk about deportations. We've had quite a bit over the past few weeks. A lot of countries have still continued their deportation efforts. Most recently, the U.S. just this week deported 129 Haitians. 68 was deported earlier this month, and that is despite 19 congressmen and women writing to the Department of Homeland Security saying, "Don't do it." Right? You have a situation where at least one of these people are going to have COVID, either asymptomatically or whatnot, and bringing these people to Haiti, it is a crime against humanity, right? Because you're bringing them to a country that they know doesn't have the infrastructure to handle a mass infection, right? For the Haitian government's part, the Haitian government has said that all these 129 people will be quarantined for 2 weeks. The footage I've seen, however, of the place being the quarantine site, if we're going to call it that, seems to be nothing short of a office complex located somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'm pretty familiar with most of the streets in Port-au-Prince and Petionville. I couldn't quite tell where this office was. And I didn't see any beds. I didn't see any accommodations. I didn't see anything that would lead me to believe that these people were going to be in at least somewhat humane conditions. Now, I don't know if this office was simply a check-in location, because the Minister of Immigration was handling it, and so they were led to this place. I'm hoping it was just for processing, right? But certainly, I didn't see anything that that has made me uh, optimistic for the treatment of these people who are coming in and where they're going to be living, how they're going to be living. Have not seen that, right? So that's where we're at, right? 129 Haitians deported, and on the very tail end of this, right, we have Haitians being deported, and the administration Jovenel Moise unable to stand up to this because they themselves are struggling to get the country prepared, right? And of course, this continues with a unfortunate trend for the administration of Jovenel Moise, with them not saying no to anything the American government wants, whatever its effect on the Haitian government, the Haitian people, right? But meanwhile, while he says yes to 129 deportees, meanwhile, for Haitian nationals, I personally know of a few Haitian nationals right now in America who are stuck. Their visas have said only, you have American visa, you can only stay for 3 months on a visiting visa. And I personally know they're stuck here, unable to go back to Haiti because of the blanket ban of anyone coming back into the country. They Prime Minister Joeth, right? Prime Minister has said that the plan of action for them, right, has been to first to be able to come back in the country as a Haitian national. You need first a negative COVID test, right? You need to show that you took the COVID and you're negative. And then secondly, you then have to take 2 weeks. You have to show that you have a reservation and stay on the hotel, 2 hotels that the state has deemed quarantine hotels, right? Jout, rhymes with foot. Thanks, Frère. Right? That's what I really wanted to say. I was trying to fight that word. 2 hotels that the government has said they have to stay for 2 weeks. By the way, these hotels during regular times usually go for about $100 to $120 a night, right? So you do the math: 14 days in a quarantine hotel. Let's just keep it simple. Say it's $100 a night. That would require a Haitian national to not only get a COVID test in America, which, as you know, they're not giving tests like that. You have to be sick to get a test in the majority of places. That's number one. But then find $1,400 to pay a hotel to be able to re-enter your country. Meanwhile, they're allowing Haitian deportees. So what they're saying is we don't want Haitian nationals in because of this medical crisis. But then on the same token, right, they're allowing Haitian deportees in for you to understand the crux of the situation, that of the reality on the ground. Now, one of these hotels, and I don't want to mention these hotels specifically. You can go out and do a quick Google search and find these hotels. And the reason why I want to mention these hotels specifically, one of these hotels, I know the owner. Okay, I know, and I've been able to contact a senior representative, right, of one of these hotels, right, because I was able to contact an official medium. Okay, and they said, listen, we haven't talked to the government. We heard it on the news like everyone heard it else on the news. We are not a quarantine hotel. They've said it very clear. They are not a quarantine hotel. The government never consulted them. The government never had a conversation with them. The government is not compensating them. It was just a random announcement that the government made. And in fact, they've gone as far as refute this on themselves. They've went on their own social media. They've tried to engage the government at different levels to say, hey, we are not a quarantine hotel. We don't want to be associated with this. Not that we don't want to help our people, but this plan is aberrant, right? This plan is terrible. How are you going to require people to pay our rates for 2 weeks, right? That's not fair, and that's not just. It's not humane. This is in conversation with the representative of one of these hotels. Okay, that's the news story, right? That's the news story. So let's take a look and see what folks are saying in the chat. All right. Let's see what folks are saying. We have Marie Charles Ewood saying, and good to see you, Marie. First time I'm seeing you commenting. Happy to have you in here. Hope to see you again. Okay, we're here every Sunday, 11 a.m. Marie says, this is great. Canez Group did that. I order household items for my family from them. Being that they're Haitian, they're in Haiti, they should give back. So should other businesses, especially those coming into Haiti and operating their business and making money off the natives. I agree with you as well. Thanks for that comment, Marie. Appreciate that. Reef Hood says, yeah, that's not fair. Yep, that is story of Haiti, unfortunately, and the Haitian people, what they receive, right, from maybe Haitian nationals abroad or Haitian nationals in the country, right? Farah, good to see you, Farah. Happy to see you. Long time commenter. Always happy to see Farah in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Farah. Farah says they do have ample tests in Haiti. Okay. But yeah, that's not what the prime minister is saying. The prime minister is saying they have to get a test from where they're coming from, okay, before they come in. That's what the prime minister is saying. Not that they're going to test them, but they have to get tests before they come in, and that's the problem, right? Marie follows up, says, I think they should be should have stopped the deportation process. Certainly agreed. James Wulubin, I think that probably should be our motto, right? That's wild, right? Yeah. So Fire follows up, says, of course, the government would not pay them. The government's calling bluff. This is just for a deterrent, right? I certainly agree. That is what this seems to be. This doesn't seem to be a real plan of action, a plan for folks to engage. It very much does seem to be a bluff, right? Nick Jacques follows up, says, no hotel wants to be a quarantine hotel. Can you imagine the stigma that the hotel would receive if people with COVID was in it? Agreed, right? No one wants to be a quarantine anything, right? I mean, heck, there's clinics in Haiti right now that I've had private conversations, and they're concerned for the long-term effects of COVID and how they're represented, because so many Haitians unfortunately don't really understand how it spreads and everything, and so especially in the early days in this process, there were cases where people were being run out of town who were suspected to have COVID in some places in Haiti, right? And so you're absolutely right. There is no one really, hospitals obviously have to, but anyone else certainly doesn't want a relation with COVID, because they understand how rumors and how so many Haitians react with things like this, right? Haiti has a very long tradition of mystique that is certainly 100% unavoidable, right? Let's go to IG. We have a lot of comments coming through IG. Let's take a look, see what folks are saying. We have a Domino coming up saying, why are there so many women firefighters cleaning the streets? I don't know. I have been seeing firefighters clean the streets, but I didn't realize they were all women. I saw men in the images I've seen of firefighters cleaning the streets. But like I've seen a few in OCOP, for example. I'm seeing a mix. I'm seeing men and women. So I'm not sure what you're trying to get at there, Domino. Queen Norma says, that's sad. The corona quarantine is showing a lot of people's true colors. Yeah. Domino follows up, says, how can I invest in Haiti with just money? I have no time and no and no one there to watch? The short answer is don't, because Haiti's not a place where you can invest from a distance. That's just the reality. I want to be very clear. My only parlays talk about you should only really do business in Haiti if you yourself can spend at the very least upwards to a year in Haiti to manage your business, right? Well, first off, you go back and forth, and you really make sure you acclimate yourself to the culture, to the language, to what Haiti is. Haiti's not a place you can just come in and just be. It's a place you really have to. It's like a strong like a strong whiskey. You gotta ease into Haiti. That's number one. Number two, even after you've eased into it, you gotta physically be here, right? Hey, I've said it many times. Haiti's a jealous mistress. Haiti wants attention, right? And so you have to be here. I'm sorry, you have to be here. Now, once your business is totally mature, right? Once it's totally mature, then you can maybe start spending 50-50, right? And you put some very strong controls in place that even while you're away, you can manage your books. You demand your accountant and your representative, your office manager, to give daily reports to what's going on. I go as far as, if you can put, I know businesses who put cameras in every square foot of their business, and these cameras are connected to their Wi-Fi, and then they can watch what's going on in their office from abroad, right? I mean, I'm serious. When it comes to Haiti, you don't put your finger off the pulse, off your company and off your investment for a second. Haiti is a place, if you're doing business in this country, you need to be 1,000% engaged in the process. If not, you're going to join the so many failed Haitian nationals who are talking very poorly about Haiti from wherever they've been, kicked off to. And that's not because Haiti's not a place you can succeed. You can succeed in Haiti. That's the biggest BS. I mean, you go to Haiti, Haiti's not devoid of businesses. When you go to Haiti, there's supermarkets, there's grocery stores, there's restaurants, every single possible thing. There's even malls in Haiti, right? So every single possible thing you could possibly, there's movie theaters. I've talked about, I've shown it. There's every possible type of business in the country. So anyone who tells you Haiti is impossible to do business, they're full of shit. I don't curse too much, but I'm going to tell you what it is. They're full of shit. The reason why is they went into Haiti with the wrong mindset. They had the wrong strategy. And they went in thinking that Haiti is a place they can just loop-de-doop-de-doo and just plop something and bounce. Haiti doesn't work like that, right? You have to be fully engaged, and you have to stay engaged the entire time you're doing business in the country. But if you do that, Haiti will welcome you and shower you with success, with wealth, and honestly power, right? Because if you can run a successful business in the country, that gives you a certain degree of clout and capacity to do things and potentially impact things that not having a business will not be able to do. Okay, so that's the short answer. All that was the short answer. Okay, the longer answer is that there are ways to invest remotely in the country if you do some research. There are things, for example, I mentioned Daniel Jean-Louis, he was probably just in here. He runs a company called Bridge Capital, right? And certainly if you have a sizable investment in the sizable amount of money, right? I'm not talking about, I'll have $1,000, what can I do with it? No, we're talking about, when we're talking investing, we're talking about investing, right? When we're talking about investing, we're talking $100,000, $1 million. Let's be real. People want to talk about Haiti and doing business in Haiti like it's somebody's lemonade stand, right? Business is business no matter where you go. And business and real investment, when people use that word invest, we're talking real money, right? Just like you would talk about investment in New York, right? We're talking investment, right? Let's just be honest, right? And so there's companies that exist like Bridge Capital. There's companies that exist, and additionally, like oh my goodness, I gotta remember this name. Run by Profin. Yes, I'm happy I remembered it. Profin is another one. Profin is a very professional run investment company. They do M&A. They're trying to be like the Goldman Sachs of Haiti investment, where they not only manage large sums of investments, and outright, own businesses and help them improve, right? But also work as a fund manager, right? In the purest sense, right? Profin is another one that you can approach, and you can provide an investment, and they guarantee returns for so many amount. PROFIN. Okay, that's another one, right? There's another company that I'm keeping an eye on. I haven't yet decided to give them spot my platform just yet, because they're so new. They're so new, and I want to see how they go and how they mature. But there's a platform called Mainvesté that seems to be very, very interesting. It's a sort of crowdfunding platform that allows the Haitian diaspora to provide, put money in smaller amounts, like a GoFundMe, whatever amount, and it goes to different businesses, and businesses can then decide, not decide, but the businesses then receive the money, and then they use it for what they've asked. But then what's interesting about Mainvesté is that Mainvesté turns around and follows up, provides reports, provides transparency of what the company is doing with the money, and also provides direct counsel, right? So on paper, Mainvesté looks very good, but as always, I don't necessarily fully endorse something until they've proven themselves, right? Because even the best scenario where a company has the right intentions and does things the right way, Haiti is such a difficult environment, right? Business in general is difficult to succeed in, no matter where it is in the world. But Haiti is a unique case, right? And so I want to give some time. I want to see how it follows up. I want to see them get at least one success story, one company they've partnered with that has very clearly benefited and still around because of their investment. And then I'll fully start recommending them, because I think they fit a need in the marketplace, where a lot of Haitians who really do want to contribute, who can't leave America and move to Haiti, don't have $100,000 to $1 million, right? They have a few thousand, a few $100 they want to provide. And so I'm keeping an eye on Mainvesté. I really want to put my weight behind these guys, but we'll see. I think there's a reason why I like to wait. I give another example why I wait. Santé Nu was a company that, again, was in the medical sphere, doing a lot of things on paper that looked really good in terms of bringing money together from the Haitian diaspora to help with clinics and helping insure people, in addition to providing Haitian nationals who are abroad the ability to have coverage when they're in the country. But they've kind of disappeared. They've gone ghost, especially during this COVID crisis. This would have been a fantastic opportunity for them to step up and really show what they're doing on the ground with their partners, if there were an organization that was about it, which is why I did bring them up. Just like I'm bringing up Mainvesté, I'm saying they look good on paper, but I can't recommend them. Yet I'm keeping a close eye on them and seeing what's going on. And I can tell you, Santé Nu has disappeared off the face of the earth, right? If someone from Santé Nu is watching me, that's just me. Let's have a conversation. I've been trying to get a conversation with you guys for a while. Let me know what's really going on, right? But nonetheless, Haiti is a place you'll notice, everything I highlight from a Haiti business spotlight perspective are businesses that have been established for years. They've been at it for years. They've proven that they can survive, they can last. They've proven that they're about what they're about, right? They're not just saying things, but they have a track record of doing things. And with the exception of one company, they're all still in business. Even now, they're all still in business, meaning that these companies know how to operate in the very unpredictableness of not only just Haiti, but obviously what's going on right now in the world, right? And even that one that isn't operating, they're still open. They've just changed their business line. They've just shifted what they've done, right? But they're still there. They're still operating, but they just shifted their business line a little bit, right? So we'll see. I certainly hope in the coming months I can provide Mainvesté as an option. But we'll see. But thanks for that question, Domino. Let's see. And then Queen Norma, not ignore the IG comments. I got you. Queen Norma says, why is that as far as having to be full time? I think I explained that. I think I explained that to you there, Queen Norma. You have to be here. Haiti's just the way it is. You have to be there, right? So thanks for that. Let's see. Kate Sorelli says, point being, hotels probably don't have any business right now. Quarantine stigma might not be the biggest worry. Certainly, I agree. But I think Kate said something earlier. Let's take a look. Or was that Kate's first comment? Okay, no, she said something earlier. She said, Kate said, wait, make sure I'm not missing something else here. Let's scroll up a little more. Okay, yeah, all right. So yeah, so Reef says that's a joke. Kate says, that being said, I stayed at a nicer hotel last week. I was the only person in there. Correct. Yeah, that is, a lot of hotels. In fact, I talked about it last week, actually. A lot of hotels are closed right now. I'm curious to know, Kate, if you can tell me which hotel that was that you stayed at. Because I know I reported last week that Marriott's closed, Caribe's closed, Plaza Hotel's closed, Hotel Montana's closed, right? So a lot of the big heavy hitter hotels have closed, and not permanently, just like 2-3 weeks. They've announced that they're going to be closed while they're watching, potentially 1-2 months as far. I know Decameron, for example, said they're going to be closed for the next 2 months, right? As they expect COVID, and just to be honest, it's just there's no demand because again, the airports are closed, right? Honestly, I think a lot of these hotels will reopen once the airports in Haiti have reopened, and of course, but Prime Minister Juth and the president said that Haiti will be closed for another month at least until about May 20th or so. We can expect the country to be closed. So I would expect that these hotels will remain closed until then, because just the native demand isn't there, and without airports open and visitors coming in, because even though we had a travel for advisory, people were still coming in. And still making the most of Haiti, but you can't run a hotel without any transportation. People will be able to come into your country. So, but I'm curious to know, Kate. Yeah, you have a point in which hotel you're saying. And by the way, it's the first time I've seen Kate in the channel. Hope to see you again in the chat. Again, we're here every Sunday, 11 a.m. Faro follows up, says, have you talked about the 72-hour Village de Dieu evacuation? I haven't. I don't. I don't have enough information to report on it. Unfortunately, I am aware of it, but it's just not. So folks don't know. The government has said that Village de Dieu, the people there have to be evacuated, have to leave. Now, they're saying it's because of COVID. There's been a rash of cases or suspected cases there, but the reality is it's actually most likely a political move, and it's probably arguably a good move, because a lot of the kidnapping has been happening, the majority of people who've been kidnapped, they've gone to Village de Dieu. That's where they're held, right? And so this can be viewed as the government trying to work at that and use COVID as a cover for that. So for all those reasons, I didn't talk about it, because it's a very convoluted thing that honestly I can't report on until some time has passed, more facts have trickled out about it. But of course, you brought it up, so I will mention that I know about it. This is what I know thus far, and of course, as we have more information, we will report on it. And ultimately, Village de Dieu is a very dangerous place with a lot of militant gang members. And I say militant, I'm talking they have guns on the level of what I've seen in war zones, right? And I can talk about this because, this is a place people aren't going to go if you're visiting Haiti, right? It's like when you go to Chicago, you're not going to Inglewood, right? There's certain places even in America, you don't go, right? Someone visiting Village de Dieu and that whole bicentennial area of Matissan, you want to avoid. Luckily it's just far enough away from where you would go if you're visiting Haiti, where it can be ignored, but it shouldn't be ignored in the sense that there's real people living there, real Haitians living there, real Haitians suffering there, and they need real services, education, schools, assistance to help improve themselves. And on top of that, they need the police there to help protect them from these gang members. So it's certainly from a Haitian humanitarian perspective, something that we Haitians cannot just ignore, right? Because these are Haitian people too, right? But yeah, that's what's going on, Fra. Okay, so thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate it. Ref Hoods Keels says that's good. Thanks God. Kate then followed up with point being Haitian. That's the being a quarantine hotel is in the least of their worries. Certainly agree. We got Nick Maon saying, how do you integrate yourself in Haiti when all your family left? You do it slowly, all right? You do it slowly. You network a lot. You know, that's it. There's no other way around it. You do it slowly and you network. And because there are a lot of things that exist in Haiti that, you know, you can find. There's really, believe it or not, there's real estate agents, right? There's places, facilitators that exist that will help you. 9.5 Haitians out of 10 are good people who will welcome you, who want nothing but you to succeed, because they understand that your success is Haiti's success. And the vast majority of people you meet aren't looking, just like any other country, aren't looking to abuse you or take advantage of you. They're looking to help you. But you can only do that and meet that level of networking, not from abroad, but actually in the country. And to be honest, even while you're abroad, there's so many people, you probably have your network right now who are Haitian, who know of people they can connect you with that are their family, that they're close friends, that can help you transition, right? That can help you integrate. If you just open that conversation, who do you know? Oh, I have an uncle of mine who runs real estate, a travel agency, who welcomes people, and you connect. So I'd say start networking even from where you're at in America, and then take frequent visits to Haiti, also with the idea of networking, and do it over, honestly, when you have nobody at all, like Nigga Maon just said, do it over years, not just a year, but do it over years, right? And then once you feel you have a level of comfort, trust, a network you can really put your armrest on, then you look for that next step, which is how to move back fully, and then secondly, how to open a business. Okay, great question, Nick Maon. Nate follows up, says, I agree, c'est la pour la. You won't know until you go. You must be involved and invest your profits in the country in order to be successful. Totally agree with you, Nate. That is the gospel, right? Lawrence Gonzalez says, what's the name of the company again? Profin. Wow, keep us brief. Yeah, so Profin is that top tier investment company that is doing pretty well for itself overall. Then I mentioned Bridge Capital, run by Daniel Jean-Louis, and then I'm keeping an eye on Mainvesti. Don't want to even type their name just yet. They're very, very new, but the guy running it, someone who's very passionate, seems very earnest. But I want to before I start talking them up or recommending them, I want to see how they do for a while, right? But I am really rooting for them, because I think they'll fill a very important void in the market if they can be successful and really show they can sustain, right? Rosie, thanks for coming in, Rosie. We're here every Sunday, 11 a.m., right? Sunday, 11 a.m. Hope to see you again. And thanks, Lawrence, for bringing in a new guest. Certainly appreciate it, right? So let's wrap it up, guys. We're at an hour and a half. So let's wrap it up. I'm going to hit up the final news stories very quickly. So remittances. The World Bank expects a drop of worldwide remittances by 20%. Haiti isn't specifically highlighted. They do give a breakdown of Latin America and the Caribbean, and the Caribbean is at the higher range at about 20%. Other countries are expected to see maybe a little lower, closer to 17 or 15%. That's a big deal, particularly for Haiti, because we know that the Haitian GDP is supported by remittances by up to 30 to 40%, which is important for so many reasons, not only for the livelihood of so many Haitians who are receiving that money to live, but then also the fact that the general macroeconomics of the country run by the money cash flows coming into the country. The Haitian good, I reported last week, was at 100 good. The two sides of the equation of exchange rate, the money you sell and the money you get. The money you sell at the moment is at 100 good, right? We're still waiting for the other foot to drop for the money you buy to be at 100 good, and so um, you'll be fully over the 100 good exchange rate threshold. We're not there just yet. We're at 99.25, like we're really close there. But that's one of the things that's going to drive the exchange rate down. Is that right? By a considerable amount, because when you don't have that foreign currency coming in to help boost or counter the overvaluation of that currency versus your currency. I know I've lost somebody out there. It's not good for our money. That's the short of it, right? And so that's one of the things I'm very concerned about. And I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how the Haitian economy is going to react. We're already facing a lot of very negative macroeconomic indicators, in addition to the food network being very heavily affected by pays loc. We've had extreme droughts for the past few years in Haiti, also affecting the food situation, which leads me to my next news story, which is the economic indicators. The food basket, the price of inflation, has gone up. We've seen these rates for as long as I've been reporting Haiti Biz News. We've been seeing these rates. The food basket just last month went up 4%, right? From March, 4%. The year-over-year inflation is at 25%. 25% is the inflation. And again, this inflation is independent of the good devaluation, right? So when we're talking about inflation, we're literally using a price index that accounts for the devaluation of the good and looks simply at, okay, what is the real cost, right? Not the nominal cost, but the real cost of these products, right? That these folks are buying. Here's an example. What's in this food basket? Rice, peas, vegetable oils. Again, these things are what people actually are buying in bulk. Tout haïtien, c'est dire that manger peas, pois, right? Sugar, vegetable oil, got to use it to cook. Specifically to these items, right? Just last month, we saw a 34% increase in rice. Just last month, we saw a 39% increase in peas. Just last month, March now, we saw a 28% increase in the price of vegetable oil. Well, that's scary, right? That's scary. And a lot of these things are coming together to really bring about a potential food crisis in the country. Because again, you don't have remittances coming in, right? I just mentioned there's been droughts. I just mentioned that the distribution network of Haiti for the food market was just now starting to recover, right? And so all these indicators are coming in to really create a perfect storm of what's going to be a lot of suffering in the coming months. And so I'm not one to use the idiom "pray for Haiti," right? But the economic condition is going to get from bad to worse in the coming months very soon, right? You heard it here first, right? You heard it here first. It's going to get from bad to worse very, very soon here in Haiti, right? And the final news story has to do with the education. The Minister of Education has released an online portal for students, K through 12, or primary school, l'école fondamentale, from primary and secondary school, to be able to access. The site is called Pratique, PR@TIC. It's online portal. I actually tried to get on there. It's not HTTPS certified, and so my browser actually flagged it as a malicious site. So that's something they're going to have to work on to get the proper certifications. But in any case, I haven't been able to get in. I did try to see and ask if anyone on my social media, if anyone has tried to get in, if anyone knew of anyone who tried to get in on Pratique, and no one has responded to me yet. I do. If anyone has any family in Haiti and are working remotely, do ask him, hey, what are you using? Because a lot of schools, first off, a lot of schools are private, and so this is really for the public schools. But a lot of schools are private. A lot of schools have themselves initiated programs to teach remotely. We talked about last week how a lot of them are using WhatsApp to teach their students from remote, sending lessons and then requiring students to respond and send their lesson notes and send their homework all through WhatsApp. And a lot of these schools have their independent ways of doing that. So when you call your people in Haiti, they're probably going to a private school, and so because again, over 80 to 90% of Haiti is private schools, right? And a very small percent is actually public. So they probably have their own ways to do it, but who knows? You may have a family member who knows a family member or a friend that's going to a public school and using Pratique. So I'd very like to know, how good is it? If it's effective, is it even working? Again, I don't. So to get into Pratique, you have to have a username and login, and so the school would give you a username and login to log in. So I can't independently verify myself, so I have to go through someone who has. So, y'all drop a DM my direction if you can't get that insight for me, right? To help support a lot of these initiatives, the government has engaged NatCom, and NatCom will be providing special SIMs to students that will be free to students to access, in particular, Pratique. So Pratique will be free for them to access on their network. There isn't anything else associated or planned, right, for these students, but the SIM would allow specifically for them to access Pratique and not be charged data through that website, right? Certainly a more comprehensive approach would be what I would find assuring and with foresight, right? But of course, we also know people will potentially abuse it as well. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But certainly, I think allowing a certain list of pre-approved websites would be a good way to go. A list of certain pre-approved websites that we know are used for education, like Wikipedia, and heck, if they could themselves create an online portal, because the Ministry of Education is supposed to provide a curriculum of what is being taught at every grade level, and if they could pursue a curriculum and then have websites linked to that curriculum and all that be under an umbrella of a free system like what NatCom is doing, that certainly would be one way to go about it. But yeah, we'll take the news as we receive it, and that's what the Haitian government decided to do from that perspective. In addition, because they understand a lot of people don't have smartphones, a lot of people don't even have a laptop in Haiti, and so what they've done is they've distributed USBs with the entire curriculum of what's supposed to be on Pratique on this USB, and so local municipalities then could provide laptops or centers or places or schools. And allow these students to, hopefully in small batches, right, be able to come to the school or go and take some of these laptops to the students. However, the municipalities and the rural schools are going to go about it, they're giving them the USB with the curriculum so they can decide how they can best go about getting this information to the students so they can work remotely, right? And finally, they have begun providing courses through Télénational de Haïti, that is the national broadcast system of Haiti, through television. They're teaching courses through that network, and additionally through the radio, through partners they have throughout the country. They're doing radio programs where they're going over courses through the radio. Now, a lot of people obviously may not have TVs or electricity because Haiti only gives, on average, across the country, 4 hours a day of electricity, right? But most people do have radios. Most people do have systems where they have radios with electricity, with batteries, right, and are able to operate the batteries, the radios in that way, and able to tune in that way. And so that is most likely a very good way to go about instruction from a distance. But again, as you know, I certainly was like this. I certainly learned better with a teacher in the room, with the ability to ask questions. I certainly learned better from being able to engage with my classmates. So, and again, a lot of these students are coming from homes where their parents may not be educated, right? So you won't have the support of help at all, minus whatever they may be able to correspond to and get from the teacher through WhatsApp, if that they have WhatsApp, right? So that's the update from that perspective. The Haitian government's trying, bless their heart, bless their heart, but the overall situation of infrastructure in the country makes it very difficult to see how exactly there is going to be a resolution. There has been some talk about whether or not they will even accept the test results from whatever the students take. There has been some talk about potentially just sort of ignoring the test results this year and just automatically promoting everyone this year who is taking the test, no matter what the results are. Because remember, we're in COVID right now, but we're in pays lock for months. For months, classes and schools were closed in 2019 through Operation Haiti lock, right? And now we're in COVID, where again we're going through the extremes, because schools aren't necessarily closed, but how exactly do you go to school and educate remotely in a situation where most folks don't have electricity in their home, and most folks are able to purchase just enough data for that day, much less the back and forth of receiving PDF files and Word docs. All this costs data, voice messages. If the teacher's doing voice notes that way, that's data and that's expense, right? We don't know, right? So that's the last news story for the day. Let me go ahead and go through the chats and see what folks are saying before I sign off for the day. So we got Marie Charles follows up, says, I own and operate a child care center here in MI. I don't know what MI is. Is it Michigan? I'm not sure where that is, Maui, but in MI. And I have been going to Haiti, and I have a foundation. I'm starting to give back to the area where I grew up, but I visited while there. I was taken back and scared, but there is where I want to establish the foundation. Do you have any suggestions? That is a very high increase. So Maggie says, so no, I think my suggestion is what I just expressed, which is take your time, do it slowly. Haiti is a place you want investments necessary, but you have to do it in a way that's very smart, very prudent. Establish a network of folks who that could provide you guidance. In fact, Marie, make sure you subscribe to my podcast, my PPIET, because my next episode we're looking to drop Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, it's a woman who has been doing some incredible work in Haiti, a former Yale, Harvard graduate who decided to come back to Haiti, move back, and as a young woman, she's leading a movement, absolutely revolutionizing the education of Haitians, right? And that's going to be on my next podcast. So watch that podcast. You're going to get a lot out of it, and I think it'll put you in the right direction. And maybe after you listen to it, try to reach out to this person, and I'm sure she'll also help put you in the right direction as well. But specific to your question, you're doing it the right way. You told me that you went out there, you visited, you're intimidated. See, that's a problem. You're intimidated, right? You can't be doing business if you're intimidated. You have to go in there, go to Haiti a few times, acclimate yourself, get that comfort level up, understand that no one's here coming after you, right? Most 9.5 out of 10 people are here to actually help you, and because they understand you're here to provide opportunity where their government isn't, right? And they're actually here to help you. But you got to do it slowly. You got to build that network up, build that trust up, build that capacity up, and then pull the trigger, right? So you're doing it the right way. Just keep doing what you're doing and just take it slow, right? Do it over years, right? And you'll be fine. I promise. Liz Z says inflation will be a worldwide issue. In my opinion, everyone has been literally printing money and throwing money at this pandemic. No, that isn't the case. It's a very standard Keynesian economics principle that says that when I don't want to go too deep in this, but you have to understand that the GDP is composed of several components. It's composed of consumer expenditure, business investment, government, exports, net exports, and then ultimately government expenditure. When you have a condition, national economic condition, worldwide economic condition where people can't spend their money and businesses can't invest because people aren't spending their money, and also they don't know what the future holds, so they're holding off to any investments. In fact, they're divesting, right? You have a GDP on the downward direction. The only thing that will save you, in fact, is a government that is spending money. It's proven statistically, theoretically, and anecdotally through real worldwide events that have happened. For example, World War II, where the government expends massively, right? Massive increase in expenditures. That massive increase in expenditure leads to a lessening of the economic depreciation and recession that exists. Why is that? There's something called a multiplier effect. Okay. Simplest thing to kind of help you understand this is when let's just keep it with $1. I give you $1, right? Okay. You take that $1, you say, all right, cool. I got $1 now. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and let's say I'm gonna deposit. You're a saver. Hopefully you're a saver. Most Americans aren't, but you're a saver. You put 30 cents into the bank. Okay, that leaves you with 70 cents, right? So 70 cents, you're gonna do what? You're gonna take 20 cents, you're gonna go buy food with it. You're gonna take another 20 cents, you're gonna go pay your bills with it, your cell phone bill. You're gonna take another 20 cents and you're gonna pay your child care, right? And then you're gonna take a final 10 cents. Hopefully I'm up to $1 now. And the final 10 cents, and you're gonna, pay for something nice. You're gonna go and, go watch a movie or something, right? Something to treat yourself, right? Go watch a movie. Now, everything I just mentioned, that's going to someone else, right? That first batch of money when you go buy food, that's going to go to a grocery store. That other batch of food, of money you spent is going to go to, what did I say? Your bills, right? That goes to a company that now can receive revenue. That child care is going to go to that nanny. And then finally, you treating yourself, that movie theater is going to get some money. Each of these avenues has employees. Each of these avenues can now they'll go around and they'll turn around, and now that grocery store will then spend money on food and spend money on their employee. That bill that you're going to pay for is going to go to compensating that employee who's working at that company, and also that service, right? Down the chain, right? And now each time that 20 cents, right, goes to that employee, that channel, that business, then that's money, then that turns around, goes to another employee, and that employee who receives a chunk of that money will then he or her turn around and spend that money themselves, right? So that $1 goes and ripples through the entire economy multiple times, right? And each time, right, is able to provide income to someone else, right? And that's not even the formal definition of multiplier effect. The multiplier effect really has to do with how banks take your money and then loan it back out, right? So I'm not even going to get into that aspect of it, right? That 30 cents I told you put in your bank, that money alone is then going to be lended out to people and other businesses to reinvest. So my point, again, I promise I'm not getting too deep into it. My point is when you're facing a massive economic financial situation like we are right now, right? It's absolutely crucial that the government spends money, right? And I'll be honest with you, this is something that's very counterintuitive. Just take the guy who has a bachelor's in economics, master's in economics, who teaches economics. Just take my word for it. It doesn't even matter what the government spends the money on. Literally, the government could pay people to dig holes. Like literally, The government can pay somebody to go dig a hole, right? And pay them for digging that hole, and then pay someone else to fill the hole, and then pay someone else to dig the hole back up. That is still an effective use of the government's resources during a time of crisis, economic crisis, than doing nothing. Because when you do nothing, what happens is you have a reverse multiplier effect, where less people make money, less people spend money, less companies receive money, companies lay people off, and there's a downward cycle that happens until you're in effect in a total depression. I just lost a lot of people. My count just went down. Like, what's this economics? I'm out of here. So Liz, this is on you. You caused this to happen, right? But I wanted to spend some time to break that down to folks to understand that in times of recession, it's very counterintuitive for folks to understand that it's one of the things that absolutely necessary to prevent a worse economic condition. Now, the question we should be having is, will the government be prudent enough to stop their expenditures once the economy is starting to improve? Once the economy is starting to improve, people are spending money again. Business do feel optimistic about spending. That is when the government needs to stop. If a government doesn't stop spending money when other parts of the economy are functioning, that is when you get inflation, right? That is when you get a deterrent effect on the economy as a whole, right? And I won't get into the details to that, but that's when what you understand of how inflation and how mismanagement of resources, that's when that starts to come into in effect, right? But during times of economic crisis, everything you think you know about the government and government expenditures, you don't know nothing. Throw it out the window. And believe me, you want the government spending money, or else we are going to be in a much worse world because of it. All right. Oh, I lost a lot of people. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I had to go so deep in the economics of it. That's the professor in me. That's the economics in me. I had to engage in that because Liz said it. Liz follows up, says, Teaching Jamaica may cease online classes due to rising data and electricity costs. The Jamaican government hasn't clearly stated if teachers will be reimbursed for these costs. I certainly hope that that's not the case. And good to know, Lizzie, Liz, are you in Jamaica? I always been looking for a Jamaican correspondent, because I always usually have some questions about what's going on in Jamaica vis-a-vis what's going on in Haiti. So if you're in Jamaica or plugged into Jamaica, you let me know, and I'll make sure to direct any future questions I have about the Jamaican perspective your way. But good to know. Mary Wolf, she's gonna make sure to watch my podcast this next episode. That's good. Watt Mini says, I enjoyed the last podcast of the female diaspora that worked for hospital administration down in Haiti. Happy to have you watching, Watt Mini. Very happy about that. Richard S follows up, go deep, share the econ knowledge. You say that, but people's eyes glaze over, right? It's consistently, everyone ranks two classes as their most difficult that they've taken in college, and that's accounting and economics. Right. So trust me, I'm not well liked. So even though as you can see, I'm pretty, I try to be as explainable as you ever meet of a college professor ever. But still, it's such a difficult subject. It's hard to find a lot of people who like you towards the end of the class when their grades are what they are. Right. Because I try to be an easy professor, but no one likes to do their work and really study, and I don't give passes like that. But it is what it is. How do I get to your podcast? A lot of different ways to get it, Marie. You subscribe to YouTube, Seejeanty. Follow and like the page on Seejeanty Facebook. This video has a link to the podcast. Okay. So you can just follow the link. You can open up Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're on Spotify as well. So there's too many ways to plug into the podcast. If you type in the Haitian Diaspora podcast in any of those mediums, you'll find my Pimpe Haiti. Or you can just type in my Pimpo Haiti. Right. Let me go ahead and just copy and paste that for you guys, and I'll pin it for a little bit too for folks to, however they want to try to find it, you can find it, because I'm on everything. Just type it in my Pimpeo since my copy paste doesn't want to work. And it seems I'm going to be finishing up on IG here. So IG guys, I won't be logging back in because we're done anyways. So again, Sunday 11 a.m. All right, IG's about to kick me out, so I got to say bye to my folks. All right, so peace out. All right. So that, guys, on Facebook and YouTube, let me go ahead and pin it so you guys can see my MPIT podcast. All right. So feel free, make sure to subscribe to that. All right. Let's see. Lizzie says, I appreciate the lesson, but it's a health issue with unknown resolution date. It is a health issue, but the health issue is directly causing the economic issue, right? Because you have businesses that have to close down, right? Because of the health issue. So it's a health issue that's having a direct effect on the economic issue, right? And the overall situation, right? Richard S. says, we got to learn this kind of stuff if we really want to understand how to make change in Haiti. Absolutely right. Liz says, no, but I scan news from almost everywhere. Okay, all right, cool. All right. And Marie, final words. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I want to appreciate everybody who stuck through it for the entire 2 hours of the stream today. We've had an incredible episode, a lot of feedback, a lot of good conversation. I want to appreciate everyone who stuck through it and appreciated the back and forth that we've had. For those who don't know, we're here every Sunday, 11 a.m. YouTube Seejeanty is something I've been doing here for a long time. It's showing the other side of Haiti as an opportunity rather than just a charity case or a nut case. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, YouTube Seejeanty, please subscribe. And then when you do, once you subscribe, whatever video that you've enjoyed the most, share it on your Facebook, share it on your WhatsApp, share it across your mediums, right? And let's get the word out together. I just mentioned the podcast, of course, Mapimpo IT. We're recording, we're interviewing, we're still active, engaged. We're dropping 2 episodes this coming week. So make sure to, however you want to listen to us, do listen to us on there. Haiti Biz News, everything we've talked about today, HaitiBizNews.com, right? It's a website that I go out, grab all the information that exists related to the business, verifiable, good information, put it on one-stop shop for folks. And if you use the Chrome browser, make sure you use the Chrome browser, download the Google Translate plugin. And this way, everything you see on the site will be translated to the language you prefer. So a lot of it's in French, so it will automatically be translated to English for you. If you use the Google Translate browser and automatic and then use the Translate Google Chrome browser and use the Translate plugin to automatically translate for you. Okay. And of course, if you appreciate the episode, if you appreciated your contribution to it, right, make sure you share the stream. Right, make sure you share the stream. Right, and of course, I'm seeing something I love to get because li ba mon chance pour me changer langue nan, li ba mon chance pour me parler créole. Moi même comme on monde qui dit puis ça mon cher parler créole s'il vous plaît, la créole parce que m'a comprendre ça va dire trop anglais pour nous. Moi même comme recevoir ça, compris ça parce que ça veut dire que son monde qui poko jamais vinn dans channel là, il pas comprendre, il pas connaître qui ça noué. Il va connaître ça, c'est un nouveau monde, ça bon parce que moi mec si me dégage ça chaque émission me bien content, ça veut dire que nous avons réalisé un nouveau style de participants, vous comprenez moi, sommes contents. Fallons les compter. Moi monsieur que vous venez là aujourd'hui et vraiment esprit que vous subscribe sur chaîne là, moi si vous retourner. Problème là c'est que ça li pas dans créole, vous comprenez ça parce que mon cher, ou y a pile monde qui recevoir nouvelle dans langue que vous préférez. OK, ou gen Jean Napoléon ou gen monsieur professeur et Fernando estimé qui a recevoir même 20 000 moun sur émission chaque jour. OK, ou gen monsieur Cad Pedré ou gen chaque là ou gen monsieur ça qui a lagué un nouveau qui très important. Ou gen Guy Wewe, Giveaway qui a même les il entre à pile bail donc musique musicien il fait vraiment fait et une discussion qui est nouvelle qui vraiment intéressant tout next ça a fini même après next ça qui a fait live chaque jour ou gain côté sur YouTube ou gain Chupota Lakai ou gain tout radio Caribé ou gain radio Métropole qui fait émission yo sur YouTube sur dans créole yo ou gain tout côté ça mon frère bon mon don bay Fallon sous là toujours ma kon sous là toujours bon moi pour ça sous capable combien côté sous doit ou ka di moi OK ou ka joindre moun ka joindre émission qui concentré sur Haïti dans anglais ou pas besoin non ou pas besoin comprendre ça parce que ou pas besoin CNN vieux bail ça qui CNN Fox News vieux moun qui pas gain intérêt Haïti tant que yo pas aimer haïtien yo pas aimer un pays noir si c'était pour yo même yo te ka la un bombe pour effacer un vieux pays noir ça net il était bien content c'est la raison que on seulement ouais que émission qui fait en anglais qui parle sur Haïti c'est les plus mauvais bagay salité grimace ou comprenez moi tant que la pi mal tant que la petit plus monde tant qu'on pour l'anglais tant qu'on pour exposer pour moun qui la ba yo pour ka justifier que moun noir moun Haïti histoire yo pas une bonne histoire c'est la raison ou pas même doit aller investir c'est la raison que me fait chaque dimanche me fait presque 2 heures en anglais ma ba au niveau des émissions nouvelles informations perspectives en anglais comme moun qui vivent Haïti même les bloqué là c'est pour mettre dans premier vol pour retourner dans pays moi mais même dans bloqué là vivre Haïti là j'ai business j'ai affaire moi là m'a vivre expérience là OK et c'est la raison que me prend temps pour me faire émission ça m'a besoin faire c'est pas tout que m'a touché comme d'abord oh actuellement c'est au niveau des risques me prend chaque jour actuellement au niveau des risques parce que tout le monde dit Chris mon cher Haïti on va doit mettre tête tout dehors comme ça non attention même dit a fait garder ça parce que il y a une mission qui plus gros de moi on a une mission qui plus gros une mission qui c'est pas seulement même pour venir pour joindre succès c'est que faut influencer une nouvelle génération de monde qui a réalisé chanson dans le pays un nouveau chemin pour nous sortir dans côté nous OK avenir à faire seulement parce que comment on va faire quand 80% haïtiens qui gagnent matière dans main qui éduqués côté yo c'est là-bas yo pas dans pays non 80% monde qui est haïtien qui éduqué c'est des yo vous comprenez moi qu'on a là on dit que nous pas faire une mission en côté pour yo que yo ka recevoir information yo clair dans langue c'est pas que yo pas appelle là yo comme créole au niveau yo comme créole puis même les créole moi au niveau malouk vous comprenez et anglais t'as toujours préféré anglais pas yo et en plus il y a plein de monde qui pas haïtien il y a plein de monde qui yo vraiment au niveau de affinité avec pays yo voulait impact pays mais yo beaucoup jamais jouer dans côté ton coup ça nous bail puis yo recevoir information et en plus recevoir au niveau de stratégie ou comprenez moi pour qui gens yo ka avancer c'est ça c'est la raison nous là c'est la raison que nous fait dans anglais ou comprenez mon brother est-ce que vous comprenez moi c'est pour comprendre moi connait c'est pas que nous pas capable c'est pas que nous pas respect pour langue non c'est pas que tout mauvais bail au monde ka dit pour la raison me faire l'anglais c'est simplement nous qui appel haïtien afin monde comprendre que nous qui vraiment voulait effecter pour voulait avancer pays mais malheureusement yo bagué yo en créole c'est pas première langue yo afin yo bagué côté qui existait qui a fait ça m'a faire d'abord bon me dire on va faire long sous on toujours dit ça sous ka vous trouver un côté qui ba information j'aime ba là non anglais m'a bien content me changer langue me faire dans créole m'a bien content m'a grandi charme plus rapide toujours si nèg a fait dans créole sérieusement m'a bien content nous un côté nous ka recevoir information en niveau qui qualifié qui mettait qualité devant quantité. M'a bien qu'on me changer là, non, OK. So anyway, me quitte là, vraiment toujours ba exposition ça pour moi comment ça bien content ouais ça à cause ça veut dire que c'est un monde qui nouveau, c'est un monde qui pourrait jamais entendre et explication ça parce que si les temps déjà il va t'a demander so on prend temps expliquer so accord fallon m'explique accord fallon is going to be in English brother. Sorry, it's going to be in English, but as I just explained to you, that's the reason why, right? So no ill will with that question. Always take time to explain that in detail every single time it comes up. So Fallon, hope to see you again. Okay. All right. And that's it, everybody. Listen, thank you. I appreciate you. Sunday, 11 a.m. as always. And guys, until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again. Peace.